Hello students, good morning. Let us continue the topic Albert Einstein at school. Today we are going to have explanations of the lesson. The passage begins Albert Einstein, born in 1879 and died 1955, is regarded as the greatest physicist since Newton. In the following extract from the young Einstein, the well-known biographer Patrick Pringle describes the circumstances which led to Albert Einstein's expulsion from a German school. Some meanings are given here. Biographer means a person who writes an account of someone else. Expulsion means here the action of forcing someone to leave an organization. The lesson is about the famous theoretical physicist Albert Einstein. Some people they speak Einstein. It is taken from the biography named The Young Einstein, written by Patrick Pringle. The lesson talks about how Albert hated school, wanted to leave it, and then was forced out of it. So, this is the explanation of the above passage. Next lines are in what year Einstein asked the history teacher did the Prussians defeat the French at Waterloo? I don't know, sir. Why don't you know? You have been told it often enough. I must have forgotten. Did you ever try to learn? Asked Mr. Brown. No, sir, Albert replied with his usual unthinking honesty. Why not? I can't see any point in learning dates. One can always look them up in a book. Mr. Brown was speechless for a few moments. You amaze me, Einstein, he said at last. Don't you realize that one can always look most things up in books? That applies to all the facts you learn at school? Yes, sir. Then I suppose you don't see any point in learning facts? Frankly, sir, I don't, said Albert. So this is the conversation between Albert Einstein and his history teacher, Mr. Brown, regarding the facts. Okay. So explanation of the above passage is the lesson begins with an account of Albert with his history teacher, where the teacher asks him about the year in which the Prussians defeated the French at Waterloo. Waterloo is the place, the Battle of Waterloo. Okay. As usual, Einstein does not remember it, to which Mr. Brown points out that the reason for this is because Einstein never bothers to learn them. Albert justifies that he finds it pointless to digest dates because one can always look them up in books whenever needed. The answer left Mr. Brown dumbstruck for a while. Finally, he replies and tells him that similarly, most of the things being taught in school can be looked up in the books and there is no point in mugging up facts. Einstein, without realizing that the statement was sarcastic, agrees with him. Now, further passage begins from here. Then you don't believe in education at all? Oh, yes, sir, I do. I don't think learning facts is education. In that case, said the history teacher with heavy sarcasm, perhaps you will be so kind as to tell the class the Einstein theory of education. The explanation of the above passage is Professor concludes that if Einstein does not see any point in grasping facts, then he should not also be a believer and follower of education. Albert very clearly replies that he is undoubtedly vested in the idea of education, but according to him, merely digesting facts is not education. The history teacher then, in an attempt to mock him in front of the whole class, asks about his elaborate version of ideal education. Further passage begins from here. Albert flushed. I think it's not facts that matter, but ideas. He said, I don't see the point in learning the dates of battles or even which of the armies killed more men. I'd be more interested in learning why those soldiers were trying to kill each other. That's enough. Mr. Brown's eyes were cold and cruel. We don't want a lecture from you, Einstein. You will stay in for an extra period today. Although I don't imagine it will do you much good, it won't do the school any good either. You are a disgrace. I don't know why you continue to come. It's not my wish, sir, Albert pointed out. Then you are an ungrateful boy and ought to be ashamed of yourself. I suggest you ask your father to take you away. Now let us have the explanation of the above passage. Again, being very clear about his idea of education, Albert explains that it is useless to acquire knowledge on dates of battles and number of men that were compromised. What is important is to read and analyze the regions that were responsible for the battle between the two armies. Mr. Brown got extremely angry and interrupted Albert's speech and punished him to stay for extra classes, even if it were of no good to anyone, including Albert. The teacher then calls him a disgrace, expressing his displeasure of having him around. Albert mentions that he doesn't want to be there either. The teacher then remarkably calls him an ungrateful boy who should be ashamed and suggests that his father to take him away from school. Further passage begins. Albert felt miserable when he left school that afternoon. Not that it had been a bad day, most days were bad now anyway, but because he had to go back to the hateful place the next morning. He only wished his father would take him away, but there was no point in even asking. He knew what the answer would be. He would have to stay until he had taken his diploma. Miserable means here unhappy. Explanation is that afternoon Albert was unhappy when he left school. It was not that the day was bad, but in general, days were getting bad at school, and he hated the thought of going to school every morning. His only wish was that his father would take him to Italy along with him, but it was pointless to ask him because he would anyway make him stay here until he completed his diploma. So, dear student, let us have only these explanations today, and further explanations will be made in the next lectures. Till then, keep on revising the taught passages. Thank you, students.